Hello, my name's Ed Johnson, and this is a blog about my input on the balloon animal shot with our team ExPro. Our first idea was about a couple in a car ride, and basically they'd have an argument, and we'd animate how awkward that was. But that idea was basically only good for a one-person shot, so we decided to ditch that, not far past the storyboarding stage. From there, we came up with the idea of balloon animals, which is a short about a guy and a girl on a first date, and it all goes horribly wrong. In the beginning, I was doing environment designs. We did have a scene where Nick would meet Jen, his girlfriend, at her apartment, so of course we needed an apartment. Set to work designing that, but then as we refined the script, we eventually cut out all those extra scenes. We were supposed to have a bar as well, but we've just confined it to the park. Simplifies the story a lot, and of course it's less to model. We can just focus on making that park look really nice. We all had some input on the script, but the scripting primarily was Christian's and Scott's department. They'd do a script, and I would then turn said script into an animatic, so we could see what was working, what wasn't. Whenever we were told to change, we'd change. It would go through a scripting stage, then come back to me, and I'd pump out an animatic. These animatics that you're looking at now, these aren't final ones. Making the animatics has been a continuous process all the way through these past few weeks. The final animatic was only really just finished today, so we'll be showing that tomorrow at the pitch, so keep your eyes out for that. So from then, we decided to assign roles to each other for the rest of the development of this more or less finalised balloon animal script. I was in charge of visual development of the piece and taking care of the look and feel of the characters, and of course the rest of the film. The first thing I did, not long after getting a pretty roughish version of the animatic, is I started on a colour script. It's something I've always neglected to do when working on shorts, and I've always paid for it after, so tackle it first thing this time. And I'm not sorry I did it all. Both me and Christian used the colour script while working on designs. Christian was heading environment and asset designs. Scott was our 3D guy. Really invaluable there. This first colour script, you can see there's like a lighting indicator. I did have an initial idea that the story would take place from maybe mid-afternoon down to late afternoon, when we'd have the lighting change accordingly, but the events in the story don't really take that long, and at the end of the day it would have just been a bit of a lighting headache to have the lighting continuously changing through each scene. It would have been much harder to keep track of than just having a set light rig throughout the day. And then it was on the character work. We're using set rigs for this film, which has limited me slightly in what we can do with the characters, but for the two kids at least, the Billy and Heather characters, we are using the Morpheus rigs, the Josh Burton Morpheus rig, which has a lot of customizable features in it. You know, it can be male, female, you can basically turn it into whatever you like. I mean, there are still some limits there, so I did have to take that into account whilst designing the kids, but my school of thought was, if I just approach the characters like I'd be designing any other character, I can then take any aspects that we like from those characters and tailor them so they would work on the Morpheus rig. Actually, some of these early designs we just couldn't have done at all. I mean, this guy looks something straight out of a John Crispolucci cartoon, but we tailored it and eventually came to this guy, his finger up his nose. And Scott's model using Morpheus rig is not far off at all. He's definitely got the attitude there, and the little girl, you know, she's just too cute. After we'd found our feet a bit with the design, Christian's environments, and my characters, I went back and tackled the colour script again, bring it more up to date. As you can see, there's a lot of colour cards used there, you know, abstract backgrounds instead of classic environments. Colour cards are something that have been used in cartoons back from the 1940s. There's a Looney Tunes short called Baby Bottleneck, starring Daffy Duck and Porky Pig. They use a lot of colour cards, and what they do is they focus the viewer's attention on the action of the animation itself of the characters, whilst at the same time supporting the mood of that particular scene. So they'll be used in particularly intense shots. I mean, John Crispolucci uses them a lot in Ren and Stimpy. When Ren has his psychotic wig out, it'll go to a crazy, blotchy, maybe bright red background, some of them even looking quite gory. but it suits the tone of what's going on in that scene perfectly. And that's something I wanted to get across in this shot. We are wanting to get a very handmade, almost 2D feel across. As you can see through these mood paintings, so I've been doing mood paintings just to, again, try and hammer home that feel, and the kind of light quality and textures that we see in these paintings is something I wanted to replicate in the final film. We have done some texture work. Scott would send us models, and either me or Christian would paint up some textures. Here's some wood textures that we experimented on for the bench. And I like how handmade they've ended up looking. A lot of student films, they do look pretty sterile, you know, just through the lighting and texturing, not done too well, but that's definitely something I wanted to avoid here. And looking at this bench, I think it's looking quite nice. And here is the final animatic. I'm just going to leave you here with this. We're wanting to get a very snappy, again, 2D feel to this film. Hopefully this comes across within the animatic. I'll be showing the full thing at the pitch tomorrow, so thank you for listening, and I'll see you all later.